The Ford Explorer and Lincoln Aviator are two incredibly capable rides, and in this video, I'm going to compare the Explorer and the Aviator, going over the differences between the two of them to help you figure out if it makes sense to look at the Ford Explorer or the more luxurious Lincoln Aviator. Let's go for it. Starting off underneath the hood of these SUVs, there are a few small differences between them. In the Explorer, you have the option for a 2.3-liter turbo, a 3-liter turbo, or a 3.3-liter hybrid. And some engines are trim level specific, so you'll find the 2.3-liter EcoBoost in the base, XLT, Timberline, Limited, and ST line, while the 3-liter is going to be standard in the ST, King Ranch, and the Platinum trim levels of the Explorer. In the Aviator, you have the option for a 3-liter turbo, or that same 3-liter turbo hybrid. But if you want on-par engine performance between the two of them, the only way we can really look at the Explorer versus the Aviator is to look at the 3-liter turbocharged engine, in the Explorer lineup anyways. Now you're going to find that engine in the Explorer ST, King Ranch, and Platinum, and as I mentioned, it is standard inside of the Aviator base, Reserve, and Black Label. And this thing is powerful. 400 horsepower, 415 pound-feet of torque. It's a great looking engine, but it also delivers when you put your foot down. Now both cars have the option for a hybrid, but it's very, very different when you look at the Explorer compared to the Aviator. The Explorer has a 3.3-liter hybrid, so non-turbocharged, with 318 horsepower and 322 pound-feet of torque. So it's a nice engine, but it's really meant to give you improved fuel economy more than anything. The Aviator, on the other hand, takes a very different approach. It's a plug-in hybrid, and you'll find the same 3-liter turbocharged engine as in the regular Aviator, but it's paired with a nano-electric motor that kicks the total power up to 494 horsepower and 630 pound-feet of torque. It's crazy. So if power is where you want to be, the Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring, the hybrid, or the Grand Touring Black Label is definitely where you want to be, but it does come at a little bit of a premium cost. Looking at the drivetrain of both vehicles in the US, you're going to find both the Explorer and Aviator with rear-wheel drive standard in pretty much every trim level of both vehicles. Now, that's going to shift to strictly intelligent four-wheel drive in Canada, with the four-wheel drive system being optional in some of the lower trims of the States. So if you really like the idea of rear-wheel drive in the US, you could technically save yourself a few $1,000s by opting to go that route instead. Because the vehicles are built on the same platform, the towing capacity between them is very similar. So the Explorer has a few engine choices that are underpowered compared to the Aviator, and that's reflected in its capability. So in the Explorer, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds with a 3.3 hybrid, 5,300 pounds with the 2.3-liter turbo, and 5,600 pounds with the 3-liter turbocharged engine. In the Aviator, you can pull 5,600 pounds with either engine option. So you kind of have a little bit of a leg up in the Aviator there. One great thing about Ford and Lincoln vehicles is the way their fuel mapping works in their vehicles. Now, if we were to take a peek under the hood, so horsepower and torque specs, they're all achieved using a premium fuel for both vehicles. But the way that the fuel mapping works is that it's possible to run regular 87 in both the Aviator and the Explorer without issue. So, if you want the best possible performance out of the engines, you definitely want to use either a 91 or a 93 octane, but you're able to run regular 87 without the risk of damaging anything. It's amazing. Since the Aviator and Explorer are built on the same platform, you're going to find very similar technology in both vehicles. Now, the Aviator does have more technology standard, while the Explorer has most of what the Aviator offers when you move into some of the higher trim levels, like the Explorer ST 401A, the King Ranch, or the Platinum. Now, you're going to find adaptive cruise control, park assist, and a 360 camera in both, depending on your build and packages added, along with some great technology like reverse brake assist, hands-free liftgate, and very useful wireless charge pad. But One caveat to the wireless charge pad is that both the Explorer and Aviator, as of the 23 models, are both utilizing Ford's Sync 3 system. So it's their previous gen system, and it's a wired connection for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So you will have the option for factory navigation, but it is wired still in both of these. And inside, they both have very comfortable seats. But I gotta say, the Aviator definitely takes the prize here. It has standard 10-way power driver seats, 8-way power passenger, but also the option for 30-way perfect position seats. Now, in these seats, you can not only have the seat hug your body and adjust each individual leg cushion, but you also have a larger suite of massage seat capabilities compared to the Ford equivalent. The Aviator also has an available air glide suspension system, which adjusts the vehicle's height on the fly, leading to an incredibly smooth ride, while also making it a little bit easier to get in and out of the vehicle. And that's just a system you're not going to find in the Explorer lineup whatsoever. Now, if you're an audiophile, you're also going to love what you find inside the Aviator. Like, don't get me wrong, the optional 14-speaker Bang & Olufsen setup in the Ford lineup is good. It's a very similar setup that we're going to find in some of the lower trim levels of the Aviator, but you're also going to find an available 28-speaker Revel audio system, which is it's amazing. It is just a step above. The Aviator takes the crown here because of how quiet the cabin is also. It features active noise cancellation that analyzes and cancels outside sound before it hits the cabin. And that's paired with acoustic glass all around, dual wall engine compartment, and a dual valve exhaust. So you're left with a very quiet ride and an immersive audio experience. Space-wise, these things are the exact same. You've got the option for 6 or 7 seat configurations in both the Explorer and the Aviator. You'll find 2 seats in the first row, 2 or 3 seats in the second row, and 2 seats in the third row of both vehicles. But a little bit of a difference with the Aviator in the second row. So unlike the Explorer with the dual captain's chairs with a pass-through to this third row, or the optional tilt and slide 3-seat bench, the Aviator also has a console that can separate the dual captain's chairs. It's also functional because it has controls for the panoramic roof and a little bit of storage. It's a pretty neat feature. Cargo capacity is the same with both vehicles. They both feature additional rear storage underneath a covered cargo area. And then getting into the trunk is a little bit of a different story. So in the Explorer, you're going to find either a manual or power liftgate or an optional foot activated, whereas in the Aviator, it has at least a power liftgate with a foot activated liftgate pretty much standard across the entire vehicle lineup. Inside the Aviator, you'll also find interior touches and finishes. They're just a step above the Explorer. It has a digital cluster screen, piano key shifters, paddle shifters, and stylish interior highlights that just pop. It feels premium, and that's why there's a premium price tag attached to it. So that naturally leads us then to price. So the Explorer is going to be substantially cheaper than the Aviator when just looking at the numbers. So the Explorer in Canada is around $51,000 to $74,000. In the States, we're about $38,000 to about $65,000. In comparison, the Aviator is going to run you between $76,000 and $107,000 in Canada, and about $54,500 and $96,000 down in the States. But a little bit of a caveat to that, because the Aviator is going to have more standard pieces of technology in comparison to the Explorer. So, if we were to build them out to get as close to matching as possible, the numbers aren't really that far off. In order to get a very similar Explorer and Aviator, we need to be in either the Explorer ST, King Ranch, or Platinum so that we can get that 3-liter engine. So let's compare a similarly built model from one to the other. If we were to look at the Explorer ST 401A 4-wheel drive with the premium tech package, sunroof, and park assist, in Canada we're about $72,300, in the States we're about $61,600. If we were to look at a very similarly spec'd out Aviator, we're looking at the Reserve 1, which in Canada is the 201A package, as well as the added luxury package. That means your build in Canada is about $84,000, in the US you're about $72,500. So feature-wise, that's going to give us 3-liter turbo engine, 4-wheel drive, leather seats, heated and cooled first row seats, heated second row seats, a foot-activated liftgate, full panoramic sunroof, park assist, and a 360 camera. But the Aviator is also going to have the head-up display, which is currently not available in the Explorer lineup whatsoever. You'll also have active noise cancellation in the Aviator, seats that are more adjustable, and a premium interior. So very similar build with a price difference of about 20% more when you look at the Aviator. So that brings us to the question, do you go for the Explorer or the Aviator? Well, it's going to depend on what you find important in your vehicles. Do you like style, better quality audio, and the best features? Do you want a plug-in hybrid that has seating for 7? If that sounds like you, the Aviator is definitely the way that you should go. If you want power without the price tag, you don't necessarily care about all the extra tech, style, or features, the Explorer ST gives you the 3-liter engine without weighing it down with the extra features that you might just not care about. But at the end of the day, they're both great rides with excellent power and capability. But that was a look at the Explorer compared to the Aviator. Hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to share it if you think someone might find it helpful. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more, you want maybe a bit more of a breakdown between the Explorer or the Aviator, you can also check out these videos down below. Hope you enjoyed.